To start off with criteria 3 of NBA report, the course outcomes and program outcomes, which has a total of 175 marks. Every one of us has to perform the analysis of course outcomes and of course relate them to the program outcomes. So this is the sample copy of the NBA report where we can see that the 12 program outcomes, then program specific outcomes are listed, and this is how most of us have done the course outcomes and the course outcome mapping with the program outcomes and the program specific outcomes. So this is one thing what the course coordinators have to prepare and send it to the respective NBA coordinators of each subject. Then individually, again, we have to do it for all the courses offered under the BTech degree of ECE or BTech degree. Then after doing all these things, we need to calculate the attainment, course attainment of each faculty, each one handling the course. So in the process of doing this course attainment, most of us have done the total process. That is, it has to be done in two ways. One is the direct method, where you do the you take the internal marks and calculate the course attainment from course outcomes from internal marks. Then you have the semester end examination marks, take the semester end examination grades and do it from there. So some time back we had a Excel sheet provided to do these things. If you recall, we had a Excel sheet like this, which was provided before this pandemic had happened. And in this Excel sheet, most of them have done this part. This part is also completed, where we took the internal marks. The internal marks were taken and they were evaluated for course outcomes. So this is the CIE part, where we do calculate the course attainment, course outcomes with respect to internal marks. Then the second one is the external marks, where you have the grades. The grades have been utilized, and from that grades we calculate the external course outcomes. So combinedly, overall course attainment, both combinedly internal and external attainment is also done in this thing. If you see here, the course attainment, and this is the internal and external course. So we take this part in. So in this thing, you can see there is another column called indirect attainment. So this indirect attainment has to be done from the course and survey, what we have been doing for the past few days. So this indirect assessment is the course and survey part. So if you see in this thing, one is the direct method, the other one is the indirect method. So from continuous evaluation and the semester end examinations, and from the indirect assessment is through the course and survey, what we have been doing. So to get this course and survey marks, and by the end, after getting all these things, we have to make a table like this for each course. Each course has to get a table like this of the total CO attainment, where it is direct method what each CO is producing, and direct method internal what each CO is producing, direct method external what each CO is producing. Typically, most of the times this is less, and the indirect method, the course and survey, what we are doing for each CO. So average of all these things we do. So in this process, we have already done the first thing, course, the direct method, and also we have done the second thing also. But to recall briefly, if anybody is having any queries, if you see, once the course and survey is posted, we can download it from the spreadsheet from here, whatever submissions we got, and from that spreadsheet you can open it. You can open it, the spreadsheet in the Google Sheets itself, and from there you download it to our drive. So once it is downloaded, we can open it. open the downloaded drive. So from here we'll calculate for each CO, how each CO is attained. So to get the each CO, even roll number is not an issue. To get the each CO, we have 5 categories over here where strongly agree carries 5 marks, somewhat agree carries 4 marks, neither agree nor disagree carries 3 marks, somewhat disagree carries 2 marks, and the strongly disagree carries 1 mark. So the minimum mark is 1 and the maximum mark is 5. So let us try to convert this into marks. Just replace, you take the replace icon over there to find strongly agree. Simply search for strongly agree and replace with 5. So you can, the case should be matching, then only. So you are replacing all 76 strongly agrees with replace. We are trying to. So we have replaced strongly agree with 5. Similarly, we'll replace somewhat agree with 4. The same way, we'll replace somewhat agree with 4. Replace all. Then we'll also replace neither agree nor disagree. Neither agree or disagree with 3, and will replace somewhat disagree with 2, and strongly disagree with 1. Strongly disagree with 1, right? So after doing these things, we'll get all the options that were submitted by the students will be converted into marks. So now these 2 questions are related to CO1. These 2 questions are related to CO2, and so on. So on, we'll have the marks, everything converted into marks. Now simply to get the summation of each question, select that, drag that selection and put summation. Auto sum, you will get that thing. Similarly, for each column, do calculate the auto sum. Each column, you can do the auto sum. It will produce the auto sum for each column. So this is done for all the columns. Right. So this is that. Now to get CO1, it is nothing but we are taking 2 questions from each CO. So the total marks of the 2 questions, 52 plus, let me directly put it, equal to 52 plus 54 whole divided by, so each question the maximum mark is 5. So 2 questions, the total marks is 10 into, I have a total of around 12 respondents. So into 12, number of people responded is 12, and total in percentage, so I'll multiply again it with 100. So the total percentage of CO1 attainment is 88.33. Similarly, the same way I'll do it for, even we can add a formula for this, but because it's only 2 statements, that's why we are directly calculating it. It's only 2 numerics by 10 into 12 into 100. So this is the percentage of attainment of CO2, then CO3 40, equal to 48 plus, so that is whatever sum you get, 51 whole by 10 multiplied by 12 into 100. So this is the CO3 attainment, Then CO4 attainment. CO4 attainment is equal to 48 plus 50 whole divided by 10 into 12 multiplied by 100. Bracket is missing. So here a bracket. So this is CO4 attainment, and this is 50 plus 49 whole divided by 10 multiplied by 12 into 100. Again a bracket is missing. Right. So these are the CO1, CO2, CO3 and 4 and 5 attainments. Okay. So we can round it off to the higher value 80. You can make a round off to the higher value 89, 89, 83, 82, 83. Okay. So now taking these values, we have to put them over here. This one already we calculated. So from here you take this thing, and put these values, the values whatever we have obtained, into these columns, the indirect assessments over here. So first one was 89, we round it off. Then the second one was 89 again, and third one is 83, fourth one is 82, and fifth one is 83. So once we substitute these values into the sheet, what was done by us at the earlier stage in the direct assessment, we'll get the overall assessment over here itself, overall assessment over here itself for these things. Otherwise, we can take this assessment and put it in the word form also, whatever we have shown it over there. So over there also we can put it, and finally you will get the PO attainment also over here, the PO attainment. This is the CO attainment. So this this can be converted, whatever CO attainment you have obtained. This is the CO attainment internal, this is the CO attainment internal. So just copy these values, only the CO1, CO2 and so on. So take the Word file format, whatever was provided to you. Of course, these COs and POs should be there with everyone. And, this is for my subject, this should be for everyone. Copy those values. Yeah, take this table, whatever table we have, you copy this table, put it into a new Word file, for whatever subject we are talking about. I205, the percentage of CO attainment for our subject. So this should be consolidated as a whole. If the subject is handled by more than one person, then all the marks should be collected by the course coordinator, and they should be averaged. All the things should be averaged for each thing. So here, whatever I copied there, the direct assessment from internal marks, I'll paste it here. I'm sorry, from the Excel sheet. This column. So I'll copy this column, Control C, and put it in this Word file. Put it in the Word file over here. Control V. Right. So whatever values we got there, those values we are putting it here. Similarly, then the second part, again from the same Excel sheet, from the external exams, whatever we got, those we take the external exams and copy it here into this Word file, into this word file. Yes, from the external examinations, what are the CO attainment we got. Then from the indirect assessment, whatever survey we have done, from that, whatever we have got on the survey part, the indirect assessment, we copy that and put it out. Put it out. Now, this average is average of these three things. Simply, we calculate the average of these three things for each CO and do the thing, right? So, calculating the average, we get. So after doing the average of all the values that are entered, we'll get an average as shown here. So this is the form what has to be submitted to the NBA coordinator. So this has to be, each faculty will be doing this thing for their own course by the direct method and the indirect method, and they will be sending it to the course coordinator. Course coordinator will do an average of all these averages for all the faculties handling the same subject, and they will get a average of all the averages, and that particular sheet, they will make a final sheet of all the things, and that sheet will be sent to the NBA coordinator. So course coordinator also has to send this copy of COs and POs, the mapping of COs and POs also to the NBA coordinator who is handling this criteria 3. So any further doubts can be answered.